Okay, let's talk a little bit about the front axle. I kind of like this setup in one way. It's easy to pop out like this. Okay, you just snap it right out, and that makes it really nice to bring over into your tire and wheel machine, to get things trued up. Okay, it doesn't bother me that there's no bushings or anything there. The one thing about it though is that people don't like is that up front here you can see there's a lot of slop up and down, a lot of free play here for those uneven track surfaces called NINCO. That plastic track, NINCO's pretty uneven. That just depends how you take care of it, of course. But we like to get rid of that. Now there's all sorts of different ways you can do this, but over the years we've just done it really simple. I bring it up as far as I can and still free spinning. That's the way I like to do it. And you can do that, like I said, several different ways. You can use tubing, 1/8 plastic styrene rod, and you can adjust it, make it about 1 inch long, and move it back and forth there until you get the right height, and you just put one on each side. Simple enough. Or you can use evergreen styrene plastic. This is like 1.5 millimeter, and it can ride right here on top of that brace right there. I won't go too far so you can see what I'm talking about, and it'll go underneath the axle right there to support it, and that makes it clean. You could use a solid tube here, you could sleeve it, just all sorts of different ways that enthusiasts have done it. Those are just my two. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to put some plastic here and make sure that this is all that free play is out there. We're going to leave a little bit, but we're going to get rid of at least 90%, and then we'll talk about the guide. Well, we sure are making a good mess here, aren't we? Anyway, that's okay. Now that I have the axle propped up here, as you can see, I just chose to do the solid little piece of plastic right there. Got a lot of spinning. You can notice a little side-to-side free play there. It's not that big a deal. Some people might just leave it. If you want to clean that up, you can use some of the shims from SCC. Put a 10,000ths in there on each side. That'll clean that up. But now that we have this set up here, now we're going to talk about aftermarket guides if you want to do that. So for aftermarket guides, again, everybody has their own way of modifying these cars. I'm just going to show you my way. It does the job. It's not perfect, but like I said, it does the job. First thing you have to know about is you'll notice here, and we'll show you an exploded view or a close-up view of the guide that NINCO has. You see it has like a raised area right there to bring the guide down. That means you can't just pop in, unfortunately, a guide. You'll notice how this is recessed. Now, if you try to put an aftermarket guide in here just on its own, okay, first of all, you can see there's a lot of slop right there, and you're going to have to stack a lot of shims, and 9 times out of 10 it just adds a lot of free play when you're stacking shims that high. So I like to put an adapter, but again, it's not that easy. I use the CG slot cars 1/16 thick adapter, and what you have to do is, what this adapter is, you measure right here, that part right there, about 472, 473, okay, and that's how big you have to make the hole in your chassis. So what I use is a number 12 metric drill bit to go in here, and I do it by hand. So I just have it by hand here, and I start here at the bottom, and very, very carefully I just get started and bring it all the way through. Now you can use a reamer, you could do this with a rat tail file. Like I said, there's different methods. This is just the one that works best for me. Now if it cracks, which it might, and sometimes these are cracked from the factory, but if you manage to crack this, don't panic. Once you install the adapter in here, then you can super glue it and it'll be nice and strong. Finally, when you put these adapters here, because of the way this is shaped, you're going to have to trim a little bit of this end off to make sure that it sits flush here in the chassis. So I've done it here, and you can see it, how I've trimmed it compared to a stock one. Okay, and it's nice and flush. Now any guide of your choice now can sit here and put it in there, and you're probably going to need maybe one, I don't know, maybe 30 thousandths shim, and that's good enough. And with the screw at the top, it'll be nice and tight, and you won't have a lot of free play. So we'll get that installed so you can see that, and put some fresh wire in here. But this is only if you want an aftermarket guide. A lot of you with some track systems with shallow slots and everything, or even without them, they're perfectly happy with the NINCO guide. So it's not something you have to do. It's just one of those modifications. If you've got the wood track and you want to go a little bit deeper, you're just going to have to do a little bit of work. Anyway, hope that helps you guys. And now I've installed the screw here, and it's good to go. I've set the height, like I said, using that shim, just one shim there, and it's just touching. That's the way I like it. The tires are going to touch, they're going to roll, but they don't support too much weight. But that's just me out here on my wood track. You set it up the way you like. Remember that I sanded and trued the tires, basically got rid of the tread design, smoothed them out, trued them up. They're good to go. We've got our Paul gauge here in the rear. We've done our motor swap. About the only thing we have left now is the wires, and maybe a little bit of lead here and there just to see. It'll be time to give these classics a road test. Anyway, hope you guys got something out of it. Hope it helps you. These cars are a lot of fun. I know now they're very spendy, very pricey to get, but if you can get your hands on one, or you got one sitting around, you know what? Blow the dust off that thing, get some tuning, and get it out here on the track. Because I tell you, they're just a hoot. Some of the most fun I've ever had in the hobby. Anyway, like I said, hope this helps you guys out there, and look forward to your comments online.